Johns Hopkins was the first research university established in the US towards the end of the 19th century. It's been a hotbed of groundbreaking research ever since, pioneering heart surgeries, mapping the human genome. It's a place that pushes boundaries of what is possible. So when it comes to the age of data and AI, you can expect them to be ahead of the curve. With a one-year STEM designated MSBA program that's held in Washington, D.C., it combines theory with experiential learning. But of course, to find out more, who better to ask than Kelly Farmer? Kelly is the Assistant Dean of Recruitment and Admissions at the Carey Business School. And from the class of 2025 MSBA, Caesar Feng. Caesar did his undergrad in DC at George Washington, both a Bachelor's of Science and a Bachelor's of Administration with a stunning GPA. They bring in some super smart people into this MSBA program. He's got management consulting and credit risk strategy experience. But perhaps Kelly, before we look at this MSBA and AI program, tell us a little bit about the Carey Business School and Johns Hopkins, which, as we said, is such an extraordinary institution.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. What a great introduction to our university and to our program, and very pleased to have you here today with us, and Caesar as well. You're absolutely right. Johns Hopkins University is the first research university established in the United States. And at the same time, the Carey Business School is the youngest business school at a Research One institution in the US. And we very much see ourselves sitting at that nexus at Carey, bringing together the best of the tradition and research and innovation of this amazing institution and the ecosystem that is Johns Hopkins University and medicine, of course, with the nimble nature and the innovation that you can bring to bear in a new business school and in an environment that is restless for change and excited for what's next. And we talk about that a lot with our students, right? How do we build for what's next? What's on the cutting edge? And so that's what we're doing with this MSBA program that we have, the full name of which is the MS in Business Analytics and Artificial Intelligence. And it had a different iteration and name before, the MS in Business Analytics and Risk Management. We've just renamed the program, which is really an acknowledgement of what the program had become. So we haven't done a full-scale revision of the program, but as the curriculum in the courses evolved and we were introducing more and more AI into the coursework, the name Business Analytics and Artificial Intelligence just made sense for us. At Carey, we enroll just about 3,000 students total across full-time MBA, online MBA, and our 6 specialized master's programs, which are very dear to us. We have about 1,000 new students join us for our full-time specialized master's programs a year, Caesar being one of those very bright students in our MS Business Analytics and Artificial Intelligence program.
Clearly, the program, Kelly, is attracting super bright students like Caesar. He'll tell us more about his classmates. Who's the program suited for? I mean, do you want to see a particular quant background or coding experience to be able to get into the program?
Yeah, that's a great question. It certainly doesn't hurt to have a coding background or to have studied in data science or in a quant or STEM-based field as an undergrad, but it's not required. Our specialized master's programs are really designed as pre-experience programs, and our faculty pride themselves on taking students from where they are to where they need to be. So we need you to be bright. We need you to learn quickly. We need you to be quantitatively oriented, if not trained, right? So when we're looking at applications, we want to see that you've done well in the quantitatively oriented courses that you've taken, but there's no prescribed set of courses we need you to take, and there's no particular academic background we need you to have. We love having a diversity of thought and experience in the classroom, which isn't just about where students are from, but it's also what they've studied and what kind of academic background they bring to us.
Right. So, I mean, you talked about early career. Is there a right time? You could come out of undergrad, but equally, in Caesar's case, he'll tell us more about that in a moment. But, with consulting, finance background in the early stages of his career, is there a right time to do this MSBA program?
Absolutely. Early career is squarely where I would put this program. What that means for our class is the majority of your classmates in the program will come direct from their undergraduate studies. So most of our students graduate from undergrad in May, June, July, and start with us in August for the program. But we do have students who spend 1 to 2 years working, and they bring a richness of perspective and experience to the classroom that is really, really helpful. And I'm sure Caesar can expand on that. But most students come direct from undergrad into this degree.
Well, Caesar, of course, I have to ask, there must have just been one course in undergrad where you didn't get a 4.0, but otherwise it was a remarkable academic track record. What led you, given both that undergrad experience and the early stage career professional experience that you had to say, right, back to business school, back to Carey, and looking for this master's in business analytics and artificial intelligence?
Sure. Thank you. That's a really good question because that's a question I've been asking myself a lot prior to coming to Cary and also at the moment when I'm studying here. So what my thought process was that so I prior to Cary had 3 years of experience managing credit risks at a fintech firm for a structured loan product. So during my work experience, I noticed a lot of integration of AI application in our modeling, in our application, in our risk strategies. And there are a lot of tools available in the market and different analytical areas and fields, descriptive analysis, prescriptive analysis, all these methods are prevalent in the market. And from my work experience, I want to go into a specialized master program, such as the business analytics, artificial intelligence program at Cary. So I think this program will further elevate my quantitative skills and cultivate my business sense in terms of data-driven strategies. So that was my thought process.
And were you thinking, well, I could look at a full-time MBA program and perhaps electives in that particular area. What was it about the specialization? And then, of course, choice of Carey and courses in DC.
Right. Yeah, that's a valid question. So when doing the comparison between MBA and a specialized master program, for me, I would love to get more hands-on experiences in terms of data analytics and business analysis, more get my hands dirty in terms of dissecting a business problem and using all these tools to find the best insights from the data available in the market or proprietary sources. So for me, that MBA is more like a managerial in general in the business setting. So I'm more leaning towards a more quantitative curriculum.
Right. How is the curriculum designed, Caesar, in terms of that core, perhaps how you can then personalize some of the courses, and then, well, I'll come back to some of the other benefits beyond that, but talk us a little bit through the way that the course is structured.
Sure. Yeah. So I am currently taking the fall two, the second semester of the fall at Cary. And the first semester, the courses offered were business communication and then statistical analysis and the data visualization. And this semester, I am taking data analysis, business analytics, and also Python data analytics, and also a marketing course, which is an elective. So our curriculum is structured in a way that students, doesn't matter how much coding or quantitative experience they have in the past, they're gonna build it here. So we have fantastic instructors and professors who will help students prepare for these quantitative analysis and future career roles. And so later on, for example, in spring semesters, we have 2 semesters in spring and 1 in the summer. During these future semesters, we have the liberty, we have the opportunity to take more elective courses that we are interested in. For example, personally, I would love to take more forecasting, also modeling, time series modeling, also some deep learning, also machine learning, AI related elective courses. These, I think, will help me forge a stronger connection with the developments in the AI fields, also make me more flexible in terms of fitting into different career roles in the future.
Now, you mentioned analytics, modeling, Python, but
Right,
equally, one of the early courses is in business communication. Is that I
right.
mean, we've got lots of data, but it's learning to tell the stories and make that data accessible to
Mhm.
make informed decisions?
Yes, definitely. That's something I actually, it was shocking to me how great the curriculum is designed by combining all these elements of courses together. So business communication is actually one of my favorite classes I've taken so far at Carey because during the projects and during the curriculum of that particular course, I was able to incorporate a lot of areas I learned in other courses. For example, data visualization. So in our business communication class, we were asked to design effective and very compelling uh, data visualizations in our presentations. So we actually learned how to use a lot of the tools and methods in a real business setting that will make us communicate more effectively in the job market.
Right. Kelly, of course, you get to meet Caesar and other applicants early in the process, and then they show up on day one, and you watch them evolve, move forward in the next year. Is it really striking to you, the individuals where they are in their lives when they arrive at Kerry, and the maturity, perhaps the self-confidence, beyond all the analytical skills that some of these intangible personal skills that they've also developed?
Yeah, one of the fun things that I get to do in my role also is travel sometimes and meet our alumni at various alumni gatherings around the world, and to see a student 1 or 2 years post program and talk to them and have them reflect on the experience and where the Johns Hopkins Carey network and education took them is really quite amazing, right? You're not just joining a program, you're also joining a whole alumni community from Carey and from Johns Hopkins University, and that's exciting to see. But absolutely, we bring in amazing students to our program. They're all very bright and driven, but to see the career acceleration and the personal acceleration that happens is quite meaningful. And our students graduate and go on from this program to all kinds of different analyst and consulting roles, sometimes into data science, and really across a variety of industries: tech, healthcare, finance, consulting, depending on what their personal passions are. We see students land in a variety of places, but always with that, how does data tell the story? How do we use data to drive business decisions? How can we use advanced analytics and AI to solve complex problems? That's really at the heart of what our students are doing after they graduate.
Right. And across all of those different industries, whether it's tech, healthcare, finance, Kelly, do they employers give you feedback and say, of course, great technical skills, but we also love this about Kerry students, so it's sort of more personal characteristics as well.
Yeah, they do. And, one of the things that employers will talk to us about is that innovative spirit of our students. I think there is something distinct about the student who chooses the newer business school, right? We're not the school that's been around for hundreds of years, even though the university has, the business school hasn't. And so there is something entrepreneurial, risk-taking, and innovative about a student who wants to choose in to Johns Hopkins Carey. And our employers and our partners see that in our students and say, your students are a little different than maybe the traditional business school student, right? They're not coming quite out of the same mold. And I think that has to do with the risk that is involved in saying, yes, I want to go to this new place or to study a new field like AI, right? That's
Yeah.
a risk in some ways as well, but speaks to the innovative and entrepreneurial nature of a lot of our students.
I mean, Caesar, with business analytics skills, already you're highly sought after. Then add in the artificial intelligence piece that is redefining the way that we look at the world and do business. Um, you've got lots of options. So how have you then worked with the school, perhaps the career management team, to help you think through some of those different career choices?
Um, So for me, I actually got the opportunity to talk with a lot of employer relationship um, consultants or employees faculty here in Cary. So they organize a wide range of panels and featuring the panelists from different industries and the different firms to talk about different career choices that Cary students can take in the future after graduation. And I think these are great opportunities for students to explore how they can apply the skills they've learned in the business world setting. And also we have a community consulting lab and AI hackathon, etc. These extracurricular events and competitions that the school helps organize, they are great resources and great opportunities for students to actually think about what they're interested in, what kind of social problems they're interested in solving, and to apply the skills they develop through the curriculum and see them into fruition.
Right. Kelly was also mentioning, of course, the Alumni Network and this, considerable community. Are alumni also then helpful to share their own experience, their own career path, and give you a sense of mentoring or just ideas for different career options? Sorry, Caesar, that was a question for you in terms
Oh,
of
that
alumni that are able to share their own experience and provide you with guidance and advice for
yeah,
next
yes,
steps.
yeah. Yes, so we have a very strong alumni network. So we actually have a platform called One Hop, and that was allowing students to being able to connect it with alumni across industries, and then the school career life and design. The team will help students to form bonds. They will host events on campus and off-campus networking events for the current students to participate in connecting with alumni and business leaders that graduated from Cary. And I was able to attend one of them, and I plan to attend another in the beginning of November, actually talking with some Masters of Finance alumni. So that will be a great opportunity for me to learn about the latest developments in business and risk management area that I've always been interested in.
Right. Do you see a lot of that, Kelly? Because of course you're talking about the portfolio of programs, the full-time MBA students, the Masters in Finance students, and how they can all connect with each other to share that experience, backgrounds, and opportunities.
Yeah, that's certainly part of the richness of the community here is the 6 different specialized masters area, students taking classes side by side, full-time MBA students dropping into some of the classes with specialized master students as electives because of course they have their own interests in these areas. So it allows us to provide a depth of curriculum across all of our programs that's really exciting. There is a Cary elective in every one of the specialized master's programs, so students can take a course across programs as one of their electives. And as part of Hopkins, also an opportunity to register as a graduate student for a course in another school. So where Caesar studies in Washington, D.C., we share that space with the School of Advanced International Studies, with the Krieger School of Arts and Sciences. So they're teaching all kinds of interesting courses in that building, and there's some opportunities to take classes across those other schools as well. So yes, for sure, both in the alumni network and also in the classes you have access to. The diversity of the portfolio of programs that we offer helps our students to be able to go a little bit deeper, a little bit wider in different areas of business.
With so many program options, Kelly, how do you then like to advise candidates as that, well, finance, AI, there are so many options, thinking about their own passions, their own interests, their own career aspirations. What advice do you give them to find the right program and also the right institution, in its culture and personality, where they're really going to thrive and flourish?
Yeah, it's not an easy thing, right? I mean, there's so many amazing business schools all across the globe, let alone the options we have at Hopkins and the other schools at Hopkins as well that will offer programs that have similar elements. So it does start with deep self-reflection. And this is something that I find some students are missing in the process. It's a tricky time, finishing up your undergraduate studies, thinking about what's next for you. And there's a lot of well-meaning people in your life as a student at that age who are saying, you should do X, you should do Y. We really want our applicants to have thought deeply about what they want for themselves. And yes, take the well-meaning advice of friends and professors and family members, but what is it that you want? Who is it that you are, and what do you want out of your own career? Because ultimately, this is your degree and your career that you're building, and we want to make sure that it's what you want, because you won't be happy in the program and you won't be happy in your career if you haven't really thought about what you want. So I think from there, it's what are the skills that you want to gain? Caesar talked about that a little bit. He had some work experience coming into it, so he had seen firsthand maybe what he knew and what he didn't know. So talk to some people. This is the kind of work I want to do. What do I need to know? What's on the cutting edge? Certainly go to LinkedIn or other social media platforms. Find our alumni there and ask them, what's new in your field right now? What do I need to be learning about in this master's program? And then go beyond the title of the degree, right? There are many MSBA programs. They're not all the same. And it doesn't mean one is better or one is worse, but it does mean one might be more right for you. So go beyond the title of the degree. What are the courses that make up that degree? Caesar talked about electives. About 40% of our program is elective. So we give you the business foundations, we give you the core courses, we give you the STEM courses because it's STEM designated. And then for 40% of the degree, you choose your own adventure, right? So you look at that menu of electives and figure out, is what's here something that I'm really excited about? And then I think it's university, network, setting, location, right? I know that there's a global audience of individuals who will listen to us talk about this program. What country do you want to be in? What area of the world do you want to be in? If you're focused on the United States, is there a certain metro that you want to be in? Our program's located in Washington, D.C., which puts you right on the East Coast with easy commutable distance of New York and Philadelphia and all the major East Coast metros. So think about that. Where do you want to land after school as well, in terms of where you want to study in the first place? So I think all of that goes into it. And just like we encourage our current students to network with our alumni, I would encourage our prospective students to reach out to current students and to alumni as well. You can do that on your own through various social media platforms. And of course, in the admissions office at Carey, we can help you make those connections also.
Okay. So Caesar, imagine that Kelly sends you a WhatsApp text and she says, we have a couple of candidates that are coming in to discover Carey and the MSBA and Artificial Intelligence program. Now, and hoping that you'll be able to spend some time with them. What kind of a day would you want to then organize? Maybe audit a particular class that you think that would be very revealing of that, hands-on teaching style that you were describing. There's DC as well. Maybe there's an art gallery that you would go to. What would you want them to experience?
Right. So yeah, that's a great question. So I actually received some of my friends coming down from New York. I showed them what the business school is about, and the location, the courses and everything. So we have a beautiful building here on Pennsylvania Avenue near Capitol Hill and right next to the National Gallery, which is a place I frequent a lot in my free time. So we have a very good we incorporate a lot of school, also like the city itself, and then the networks that Kelly was telling us about. So we have a very balanced study life here in DC at Carey Business School. So you are able to join the class in the morning. It's 8 o'clock in the morning class. You have to show up. You do your work, and during the noontime you can take a break to find yourself a study spot inside the National Gallery, look at paintings, and come back, have a light lunch, come back to the school, do a group project. The classmates here, the cohort, they're amazing students around here in the building. The group project experience has been very, very enjoyable. And then we are able to learn things and communicate, talk about careers, talk about school, our experiences at Carey. And then we can end up the day by walking around the National Mall to watch the sunset. So like in that regard, living here and studying here in DC, especially at Carey Business School, has been a pleasure.
It sounds like a great day. Kelly, we know that we'll just send all the candidates to hang out with Caesar.
There's the host
You
for everyone
mentioned
now. Yeah, he just won the job.
at the end of the tour, and Caesar and the candidates see maybe there's a banner with an alumni class reunion. Now, if we were to sit down with some of them, you were talking, Kelly, about time that you spent with alums, and they reflect back on their time at Kelly, both from the career perspective and how the first job, but how it's preparing them for subsequent positions and building their career, but also from that personal element. What kind of things do you think they'd share?
So alumni tell me that the year that they spend at the Carey Business School is the best year of their life. Right now, we hope they have many, many best years of their life in their career in the future. But the freedom of graduate school, the ability to travel a bit for our international students, the ability to travel on a US visa is really, really an exciting time for them to get involved in experiential courses and things. And so they look back on this experience as being a unique one, a distinct year in their life in terms of being able to grow, but also make friendships. Of course, there are many Carey partners out there, many husbands and wives and families that were born out of the Carey Business School as well. So for some, it really has a lifelong meaning for that reason. But I think in terms of career, right, what they look back on is how they were able to challenge themselves and the skills that they were able to gain in terms of rising to an ever-changing and challenging environment. Caesar touched on it for a moment that he's in fall 2 right now. The classes at Carey are 8 weeks long. So he took 4 classes during the first 8 weeks of the fall semester and caught his breath for a day and is in 4 new classes for the second half of the fall semester. And so things come at you fast. I tell our prospective students, it's like being shot out of a rocket. And our students are up to that challenge, but there can be a little bit of confidence building that it takes to get there. But that confidence building, once you have it, that's what carries you through, because anything you face in your career from that point forward, oh, well, I passed Nasser's class. I passed Dr. Nakandish's class, back at Carey. I can take on this project that I've just been assigned at work. So I think it gives confidence to our students that they can thrive in the most difficult environments, because this is a challenging program. It is not for people who want to just skate through and get a graduate degree, but that means that you take that experience with you and you build on that for your entire career.
Right, and building on it for their entire career, Kelly, falling in love with the sunsets on the mall in DC, because of course, as STEM designated and then OPT, they can stay for up to 3 years initially in terms of pursuing the next steps of their career. That must make a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. So it allows students that STEM OPT extension. So, many people probably know that any graduate degree in the United States for an international student will allow you temporary work authorization for a year. But those programs that have a STEM designation, you can get a STEM OPT extension of up to an additional 2 years after that. So that's 3 years total of postgraduate work experience for students in this program. So yeah, that is certainly a very exciting aspect of the program for students who are from outside the US and hope to be able to start their career here.
Yeah. Caesar, just a couple of final thoughts for you, because we always hope that Centre Court will open our viewers' eyes to all of these extraordinary opportunities, personal, professional development. But, some might think, learning to code, and they can talk themselves out of investing in that next step in their future. Now, you took that step, so what would you say in terms of either I don't know, like an imposter syndrome, and saying, hey, no, it's possible, go for it. What would you say?
Right. So it's definitely can be daunting and challenging. And sometimes when you want to enter a very quantitative curriculum or like a training program like Carey Business School offers. So it can be challenging at times, but like Kelly mentioned, it's definitely a lot of confidence building in this regard. And so a lot of my cohort, a lot of my classmates here, some of them have a very limited coding or quantitative experience, but they do want to elevate their skills and dissect business problems in terms of data-driven insights. So as long as you um, believe in that sense of making data powerful in solving problems in the real world, you can definitely fast track this very steep learning curve. And of course, there are a lot of resources at Carey that can help you navigate through this difficult process. And the professors, also we have the tutors and TAs, and classmates are very helpful as well. So definitely with all these resources around students, it can be challenging at first, but it will turn into a more enjoyable journey once you get a pretty good hold on what's going on next and you see yourself building up these amazing skills, which will give you a lot of confidence both in your life and in your career.
And with everything that you're learning about business analytics and AI, is there something that you've learned about yourself? It's like, hey, I didn't know that, or that you're proud of.
Right. So yeah, that's a really good question because I recently discovered that one area of intangible or soft skills I've been developing is in terms of a team management, about being a
Mm,
leader. So during a lot of courses offered at Carey are involve a lot of group projects. So we actually have to talk with our classmates to form bonds and to connect, to organize, to schedule, like all these processes are like really important for students in the future in the job market when they have to act professionally. So one thing I discovered about myself is that I'm actually very comfortable about being a leader. So I will talk with my classmates, my group mates, to navigate this problem, this project, and that will help assign and know everyone's forte and assign different parts of the project, and we accomplish something great. So that part of the process I really enjoy. I found myself being in a sort of a semi-managerial position, really enjoyable and very rewarding.
mm, right. Well, Kelly, we've already established that hanging out with Caesar for a day is going to convince everyone that this would be a great next step. But in terms of next steps for viewers, maybe starting with the Carey website, how should they get in touch, find out more about the program, and reach out to your team?
Absolutely. So the website is a great first place to start. Everything that I said you should look at about the program exists on our website, right? Curriculum, elective classes, outcomes, career information for our graduates, etc. So our website is Carey, Carey, .jhu.edu, and that's a wonderful place to start. And for this program, you're looking for the full-time business analytics and artificial intelligence program page. And then to get in touch with admissions, carey.admissions@jhu.edu. That email address, just email that. Tell us that you're interested in the business analytics and artificial intelligence program or any of our other programs at Carey, obviously, and we will get you to the right person. We have recruiters and admissions team members who work with each of our individual programs, who work with students from different parts of the world. So you send one email to carey.admissions@jhu.edu. Let us know who you are, what you're interested in, and we will connect you with the right person.
Well, thank you both of you for enabling our viewers to start that Carey journey with both of you. Much as I now have this image of sunsets in DC, I don't think the sun is ever going to set on your career, Caesar. And it was lovely to be able to share that experience. Kelly, it was great to have you with us at Center Court. Thank you both very, very much.